Today on Lisa Loves Food, Lisa loves spaghetti and meatballs. Watch this.
Look out, world. You're about to fall in love with me. Why? Because I'm making spaghetti and meatballs. And I call this cartoon style because instead of mixing the sauce with the spaghetti, I'm gonna butter the noodles, layer the sauce on top, and have all of those tender, delicious little meatballs on top. Ah, your face is gonna melt when you try this. Watch this. Ooh. Oh my God, heaven.
Get a pound of ground beef, breadcrumbs, egg, onion, garlic, freshly grated cheese, herbs, salt, pepper, olive oil, red wine, San Marzano, tomatoes, tomato paste, onions, garlic, pasta, and butter. Fresh garlic is best, but if you don't have that, use the powdered stuff. Just don't use the crushed up stuff in a jar because that is a whole different product. It's like fermented and will give you gas. For the breadcrumbs, throw 2 slices of day-old bread in the blender or use panko. If you don't have fresh herbs, use dry. An Italian blend is nice too. For the cheese, use freshly grated Parmesan or Pecorino Romano. Nothing else will do. I do not put chunks of raw onion in my meatballs, so cut up a small onion, saute it in some olive oil, you know what, and a little red wine. It's gonna make it delicious. We need 3 cloves of garlic for the meatballs and 3 for the sauce. Let's get that ready all at the same time. Just smush each one with the side of your knife to get that papery skin off. Rush them with a garlic crusher or mince them up real tiny. Here's one of my secret tricks. Take balsamic vinegar, put a splash of it on your raw garlic, and the acid will cook it and make it a flavor bomb. 1 pound of ground beef into a bowl, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and some freshly ground pepper. I've got some dried oregano here, but those Italian blends are nice. I've got 2 slices of bread ground up into breadcrumbs. It's about a cup of breadcrumbs. Then you're going to use a raw egg. Throw in your onions cooked in red wine and your garlic in that balsamic vinegar. We're adding tons of flavor here. I have some nice fresh parsley. Dry is fine too.
Cheese time!
This is somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 a cup of freshly ground Pecorino Romano. Only use the best cheese or don't talk to me about meatballs. Now, if your meat is lean, that's fine. Just add a drizzle of olive oil or a splash of milk. Use your hands to mix this. I like to wear gloves. Give me a break. It feels weird on my hands. I mix the top ingredients up first and then fold everything into the meat gently. You don't want to overwork this mixture. When it's combined, gently roll your balls. I like them a little bit bigger than a golf ball, maybe, I don't know, the size of a plum. Be gentle with your balls. Don't overwork them. Now turn your head and cough. Wait, what? Put them on a plate. I find this makes about a dozen meatballs. We're going to get these started by doing a quick fry, not to cook them through, but just to get a little crust on them and the pan for our delicious sauce. Start with a little bit of olive oil on medium heat. Get your pan hot. Gently place these balls into the pan. Now, when you go to flip, use tongs and a spatula and be oh so gentle because these are very tender little meatballs. So take your time. They're not going to be perfectly crusted up. We just want crust on like 3 sides. Then carefully remove them back to that plate. Like I said, they are not cooked through. Just making a little bit of crust in that pot and on the meatballs because this is going to really intensify the flavor of the sauce and the meatballs.
My precious.
It's sauce time. Get that other onion right into that crust and deglaze the pot with red wine. We're scraping up all of those crusty bits as that onion cooks. Add a couple of tablespoons of that tomato paste, and that can cook down with those onions and red wine and crusty goodness. Let it cook down and get dark and intense. Time to pour in our can of San Marzano tomatoes. Now, this really makes the sauce. They are imported from Italy and they are very sweet, low acidity tomatoes. Just break them right up with your spoon. Now, if you didn't want a chunky sauce, you could use an immersion blender here. Season with salt and freshly ground pepper, and we are going to throw in our herbs. I'm using dried oregano, some fresh thyme tied in a bundle, a couple of bay leaves, and nice fresh parsley. Don't forget the crushed garlic with balsamic vinegar. Give it all a stir. Time to gently nestle the balls into the sauce. Get them all in there, and don't forget all of the juices on that plate. Carefully cover the balls with the sauce. Bring everything to a nice simmer, and if you're gonna stir, just please do it very carefully. And go live your life for the next 25 to 30 minutes. You know, let's get the pasta going. I like to use iodized table salt in the water because, you need iodine so you don't get leprosy or something. But I never measure it. I just imagine I'm Godzilla salting an icy sidewalk. Once it's boiling, get your pasta in there. For the first 3 minutes, you're just gonna gently wrestle with it so that it doesn't stick together. You can use a pound of pasta. I weirdly accidentally bought 12 ounces here, and it was fine. It still fed 4.5 people. See, after a couple of minutes, it's all submissive spaghetti now. Right before you strain it, get some of that pasta water. It's nice and starchy and will help if your pasta gets dry. Strain the pasta and toss it with 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter. And you know what? Throw in a little splash of that reserved pasta water and toss it all together. Now to deal with these meatballs, you're going to quickly remove the balls onto a clean plate. Discard your bay leaves, and if you have an herb bundle, throw those away. You could throw the pasta in the sauce now, but we're doing cartoon style, so put those buttered, gorgeous noodles onto a plate. Pour that delicious sauce on top, and then nestle your meatballs on top like the star on top of the Christmas tree. And don't forget to make it rain freshly grated cheese, and lots of it. Because you're not at a stingy restaurant, you're at home and you can treat yourself. Well, you know what? Let's add a little more fresh parsley because we fancy like that. And look at this gorgeous, beautiful model of a dish. Yes, you're a model. Ah! Here it is. Want a bite? I do.
Show the puppy. Puppy. Okay.
Review. Use great ingredients if you want great meatballs, especially the good freshly grated cheese. Remember the details like sauteing the onion with olive oil and wine and crushing fresh garlic with some balsamic vinegar. Fry the meatballs to get some crust on your balls and on the pan and set aside. Deglaze that crusty pan with another onion and some red wine and tomato paste. Use the imported San Marzano tomatoes, trust me. Break them up and add the rest of the ingredients. Put the meatballs back in and simmer for 25 to 30 minutes. Serve with spaghetti and lots more cheese, and enjoy! Thanks for watching! Check out Patreon for more. I can't eat it with the chopsticks.